In just the first 3 months of 2026, American corporations made $4.43 trillion in profit. During that same period, nearly 3 out of 4 Americans said the economy felt fair or poor. Those two numbers describe the same economy. So how can companies be making more money than ever while customers feel poorer than ever? The answer starts with this receipt.
I dined in, but look at this receipt. So I get a Krabby Patty. They charged me $3 just to add pickles to it. I got a Krusty Krab pizza, was delicious, a Diet Dr. Kelp, but they charged me $1.50 to add ice to my drink and 75 cents for the straw. I got 2 tartar sauce packets and they charged me 75 cents each for those, 40 cents each for the 2 ketchup packets that I got. $1 for silverware. No, it's $2 for silverware. And mind you, these are plastic silverware, not even real silverware. 3 napkins cost me $1.50, so that's 50 cents each. A tray usage fee, a booth fee for sitting at a booth, a table cleaning fee of $1.25, and they charged me an included tip of $12.10. Do not eat at the Krusty Krab.
That receipt is a parody. Every fee on it exists somewhere in the real world right now, rebranded with friendlier names. Service fees, kitchen appreciation fees, credit card surcharges, automatic 22% gratuities that kick in the moment a party gets bigger than a phone call. The menu price stopped being the price. It became the bait to get you seated. The Federal Trade Commission estimated its junk fee rule would save consumers 53 million hours a year previously spent calculating what things actually cost. That is roughly 6,000 years of collective human life burned annually on trying to figure out what a hotel room actually costs, and the rule only covers hotels and ticketing. Everything else stays legal. Now, walk into a grocery store, because the same trick is running on the shelf with different props.
I love how companies try to do anything to charge more. Look. They now have this box of strawberries called the sweetest batch. It is $8.99 compared to the regular plastic strawberries that are $6.99. What the man?
Capital One. Shopping's 2025 analysis found that roughly a third of grocery items on American shelves have shrunk since the pandemic, with an average size reduction of around 15% on national brands. That one change alone accounts for up to 10.3% of recent grocery inflation. A big chunk of the price hikes you noticed this year did not happen because costs went up. The package got smaller and the label stayed the same. Party-sized Cheetos dropped from 17.5 ounces to 15, while the per-ounce price more than doubled. Family-sized Frosted Flakes went from 24 ounces to 21.7, a 40% bump per ounce. The receipt says the same brand you have bought for 20 years. The bag holds less of it and nobody sent a letter.
You see, they haven't reduced the amount of soda. Both of these cans are still 12 ounces. But since the grocery industry apparently thinks the average consumer has the intelligence of a 6-year-old child, they've put that same 12 ounces of soda in what looks like a larger can. Which again, I must remind you, just because something is in a taller, slightly skinnier container, it is not more liquid. Now, of course, this shrinkflation only works if they eliminate the previous can and jack up the price, which is, of course, exactly what they did. So not only do we have to worry about our product shrinking in size or using ingredients of much lower quality, we now have to worry about what is almost indisputably just straight up deceptive behavior.
Here is the part that sounds like a joke and is not. Somewhere, there is a beverage industry designer whose actual job title involves optimizing the visual illusion of more soda without adding any soda. That job exists. It pays real money.
Okay, Walmart, you're at it again. So I got the pack of chicken here. 5.27 pounds. Got my scale. Tear, which is what they should be doing. Let's do it. .63 pounds of chicken, charged for 5.27 pounds. Do they not know how to use the tear button or what? Pretty sure this is illegal.
Almost 2/3 of a pound of chicken that was never in the package sold at full price. Walmart called it a tear weight mistake, and a mistake is a fine explanation the first time. It is a strange explanation when it only ever seems to happen in one direction at scale across many stores for years.
So we're at Walmart, clearance $5. Ooh, let's look at this shirt. Ooh, American Sweetheart, right? $4.98. It's on clearance for $5. Because it says it was $6.98. However, it's $4.98 on clearance for more than the price tag. Gotta love America.
A clearance sticker priced higher than the original tag hanging right next to it. Walmart's response was that the online listing already reflected the higher figure, which is a corporate way of saying the word clearance now legally means whatever the retailer wants it to mean, and consumer protection law is fine with that. Then there is skimpflation, which is the same extraction moved from the packaging into the ingredients. A national margarine brand quietly cut its fat content by 7.5% in 2025. A major ice cream brand lowered its milk fat below the legal threshold and started calling the product frozen dairy dessert, which is the least appetizing 3 words ever printed on a supermarket freezer. A national burger chain increased the fat in its patties by roughly 29% while cutting the protein by nearly 10%, then kept selling it under the same name at a higher price. You did not switch brands. The brand switched itself on you.
This is where we are in society. That's 8 pieces of chicken and some rice for $15. $15 for this, $15. Does anybody else have the feeling like there's not going to be any restaurants left if this is what's happening?
Restaurants are only part of it. The checkout screen at the fast casual counter runs the same play using social pressure instead of packaging.
Adding a tip is getting ridiculous. I grabbed the sandwich from over there. I had to do the order thing. They're asking me about a tip though. I don't understand.
A tip prompt on a machine that took your order, held your card, and handed you a bag from a counter. That prompt did not exist there 5 years ago. It exists now because the screen makes declining it a visible act. The no tip button is smaller, tucked further from your thumb, and shows up after 2 friendly buttons offering 20 and 25%. It is not technically a fee. It functions like one because refusing it in public requires a deliberate tap while the cashier is watching from 18 inches away. Now zoom out from any single transaction, because the real change in the last decade is that extraction moved from one-time purchases to permanent monthly ones. The average American household spends around $69 a month on streaming alone. That is before software, cloud storage, fitness apps, meal kits, and password managers get added on top. 60% of subscribers now say a $5 price hike would make them cancel their favorite service, which means the industry knows exactly where the ceiling is. Every renewal notice is a quiet test of how close they can get to it.
I think the era of the subscription model is already wearing thin on people. I talked with someone yesterday who said they bought a 97 Toyota Land Cruiser because they'd rather have that than whatever it is car companies are churning out today. I also heard from someone who said they bought a CD player. They'd rather use that instead. You remember the Walkman? And then I saw an article about, old game consoles surging. People want to get those again. A PlayStation 2, a PlayStation, a Nintendo 64. It's like we're tired of getting nickeled and dimed just to use stuff. Also, the economy just doesn't feel very good. Every day, layoff, 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 layoff. Who wants to keep paying subscription fees when you could be laid off tomorrow?
The preference for a 1997 Land Cruiser over a new vehicle with software-locked features is not purely nostalgic. It is a rational financial decision. Buying a car that works without ongoing payment, without firmware updates that can change features, and without the risk that a manufacturer revokes access when a subscription lapses is a different product from a car that requires all 3. The older car is more expensive in some ways and cheaper in the one way that now matters most, which is that you own the full function of it. BMW charged a monthly subscription to activate heated seats that were already physically installed in the car. The heating elements were present when the customer purchased the vehicle, but using them required ongoing software authorization through a recurring fee. Customers owned the seats, yet the warmth itself was effectively being rented. Although BMW rolled back the feature in some markets after significant public backlash, the strategic thinking behind it has not disappeared from the industry.
Why is everything becoming a subscription nowadays? If you want to go to the gas station, subscription. You want to go get some dog food, subscription. You want to go to the self-checkout line, subscription. If you haven't heard yet, Walmart is considering the idea of only allowing their Walmart Plus subscribers to use self-checkout. A year's worth of Walmart Plus is $98. $98 for self-checkout. Netflix just raised their price for the subscription, and they're doing it again this year. Subscriptions are getting out of hand now, especially if you're paying over $100 a month just for one subscription.
Airlines have also unbundled what many passengers consider a basic expectation by charging families extra to sit together on the same flight. Purchasing tickets on the same booking does not necessarily guarantee that a parent and child will be seated next to each other. That proximity often requires an additional fee. After pressure from the U.S. Department of Transportation in 2024, several airlines temporarily adjusted their policies, but many of those fee structures returned once the regulatory pressure eased. That same quarter that corporations posted their record haul, 47% of American consumers told researchers that high prices were actively eroding their household finances. The money on one side of that number came from the households on the other side of it. There is no third party involved.
Every time I get my car worked on, I always feel like I'm getting ripped off. $500 just to figure out what's going on with my car. And it's only a year old, year and a half. Do better, Toyota.
$500 in diagnostic fees on an 18-month-old car before any wrench touches anything. A separate charge for being told what the next charge will be. That fee did not exist as a line item on a service invoice 20 years ago, and once one dealer group added it, the rest of the industry followed within a year. Now, look at the layoff side of the same balance sheet, because record profits and mass firings keep showing up in the same quarterly earnings call. U.S. employers announced roughly 397,700 job cuts during the first 5 months of 2026. The technology sector alone accounted for over 123,000 of those layoffs, a 66% increase over the same period in 2025, while AI was cited as the leading reason in about 22% of all announced cuts. May 2026 alone saw nearly 97,000 layoffs, making it the worst May for job losses since the pandemic. Meta eliminated around 8,000 roles, roughly 10% of its workforce, while simultaneously announcing capital expenditure plans of up to $145 billion for 2026, the vast majority earmarked for AI infrastructure. So they fired thousands of people, raised spending, and told shareholders it was a great year. Those 8,000 people are now paying the same grocery bills, tip prompts, and subscription renewals as everyone else on a severance timeline. The efficiency gains from those cuts did not lower the price of anything on the shelf. The savings walked directly to the earnings line, because that is where corporate savings always walk when there is no rule making them go anywhere else. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau tried to write one of those rules. It proposed capping credit card late fees at $8, down from the industry standard $32. The banking industry sued. Courts in Texas blocked the cap and vacated it in 2025, finding it likely violated a requirement that fees be reasonable and proportional. A $32 charge for missing a payment by a day was legally confirmed as reasonable and proportional. The roughly $10 billion a year that would have flowed back to consumers under the rule stayed with the credit card companies.
I feel like everything has always been a scam. We just didn't find out about it. Like, we didn't have apps like this that could show us things are a scam, and we couldn't talk to each other on apps like this to verify things are a scam. So, is everything a scam today? Yes. Was everything always a scam? Yes. Will it continue in the future? Unfortunately. But at least we find out about it quicker.
Finding out faster is real, and it is also a smaller win than it feels like. The corporate response to a viral video exposing a pricing practice is almost never to change the practice. It is a statement about a regional inconsistency or a labeling error or an isolated store. The practice earns more than the reputational cost of the clip. The clearance tag stayed up until a customer filmed it. The underfilled chicken kept selling until someone brought a scale.
You guys notice that nothing's a good deal anymore? Even the sales, they're not good deals. They're good deals if you're an idiot, if you've been living under a rock, but we all know what prices used to be and what they are now. And I'm just saying, like, everything seems to be a giant scam, and it's humiliating to just accept that you're just overpaying for something that used to cost a lot less. And
humiliating is the exact right word. Standing at a register, watching a number you did not expect show up on the screen, in a store you have shopped at for a decade, run by a company that just posted record quarterly earnings. That feeling is not in any government statistic. The University of Michigan Consumer Sentiment Index dropped 29% in the first 4 months of 2025 alone, a collapse historically associated with recessions. By earnings metrics, the economy was fine. By grocery bill, it was not. Both readings are accurate at the same time because they are counting the same transactions from opposite sides of the counter. The trillion-dollar profit number and the 72% who say the economy feels poor are not two different stories. They are one story told by the people writing the receipts and the people paying them.